You know, bad games tend to just be the part of this industry. If you're playing video games, more than likely you're going to run into a bad game from time to time, and a lot of times you'll try to just refund it if you can. If there's no refunds on the platform, you can just write it off as, well, next time I'll do some more research and figure it out. But occasionally, and it's crazy to me sometimes, you'll have heads of different studios or founders of companies talk a little too much and maybe be a little too frank about their game being bad and it being kind of a cash grab. And that's actually what's happened here. It's actually amazing. When I was reading about this interview that they had with Le Mans in France, I was a little surprised. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a game that's come out recently. It actually came out at the end of May, and then the Switch version got pushed back, which, strangely, a day-and-date release not being on the Switch has actually managed to help the Switch users avoid this game completely. It really is amazing. This is Tennis World Tour. It's an interesting twist of events, I know. But Tennis World Tour came out. Massive score on Metacritic and a 2.8 user score, with different places like Game Informer, for example, giving it a 4 out of 10. Saying things like the controls are clunky. It's not a fun experience. And this is coming from I believe the developers from Topspin, or at least some of them. And that was actually a good game on the original Xbox. I actually played that and liked it a lot. It was basically a simulation tennis game that did a pretty good job. It wasn't as arcadey as a Virtua Tennis, but for people who are kind of looking for that simulation style tennis game, it did a fairly good job. Unfortunately, it did not seem to translate to this game. That this interview is very eye-opening. Let's talk about this interview exactly. See, the founder of Big Ben Interactive, who's the creator of this game, talked to Le Mans, and they talked about the game and kind of the build-up to its release and kind of where they go from here. A few things to note here. This game came out, and it seems very buggy. It seems incomplete, essentially, and there's no online play for a game that's a competition-style game like tennis that you would think you'd be able to go online and play against other people. Topspin had online, and that was on the original Xbox forever ago. This does not. So, yeah. They seem to be trying to fix it through online patches. What seems to be a bad side effect of online patches is that they can fix the game after release, so if the game's not ready, they don't have to delay it to add these features in. They could just fix it as they go, and you might think, well, maybe that's not the case. Maybe I had plans to do it later. No, that's not the case at all, because this is what he said about the development leading up to it. The departure was chaotic. Only 20% completed a few weeks before its release. Oh yes, you heard that right. This game, Tennis World Tour, was 20% done leading up to its release, weeks before its release. 20% done, but they pushed it out anyway. Do you know why they pushed it out? According to them, they already made a big marketing push, already spent a bunch of money on advertising, and they weren't going to let a game that just wasn't done, was, I guess, 20% done, which probably means that the online was supposed to be a semi-large chunk of the game, because at least it kind of works. It's very buggy, but at least kind of works. It's just they decided to push it out. You might be wondering, other than marketing, how could they know they were going to make money? Because believe it or not, I'm not kidding, this game is profitable. They've already talked about games for next year. In fact, they've even said their plan is to try to fix it through the online patches. You know, if we can't, we'll have it fixed in next year's version of this game. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's WWE 2K18 all over again. I don't think they're going to patch that game, by the way. I think they're just going to try to fix it in 2K19, or they just never will, because I'm sure they've made their money on it as well. But he is very, very open about this, saying, "We put 500,000 pieces on the market, but with many distributors who have no right of return, so we know that we will be profitable." And that's from the founder of Big Ben Interactive, Elaine Falk. And they are basically just admitting to everyone that the game wasn't done. We pushed it because of advertising, and it doesn't matter because the distributors who we sold 500,000 copies to, which automatically makes us profitable, cannot return it, so we don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it at all. You know, it's like selling something as is with a no return clause or policy, and you don't care because once you get your money, it doesn't matter. They can't bring it back, right? It's almost like a going out of business sale, except they're planning on continuing to make games. It's super weird to see a founder basically say, we got one over on distributors and consumers, and we'll be back next year to, you know, give you guys another game that I'm sure you'll want to buy. That's kind of the thing they're forgetting here. See, the one thing that I know as someone who would do a lot of ordering for companies, and I would do ordering for stores, specifically for video games, we would remember how well a game sold and if it was worth the risk of investment. And that's something that they are forgetting here. Stores generally remember how games sell. Distributors certainly remember how games sell. And I can guarantee this because I've talked to distributors, like seriously, face to face at times about this. I've gone to their warehouses and I've seen thousands of copies of Madden 09, Madden 10 when they over-ordered on these games. And you know what? They didn't over-order the next year. It was a significantly smaller stack every year when you looked at it. And eventually they would just run out of games rather than order too many. It seems like they're expecting another 500,000 copies to be ordered next year. And if these don't sell, that won't happen. And you know what? That's probably a good thing, because generally we rely on low sales to weed out bad games or companies that are just willing to put out incomplete games. There's no online for this game, which is amazing because there should be. This game should have been delayed on the other systems. They should have put more money in. They just couldn't afford to do that. It was either put the game out or I guess go out of business and not do it anyway. They needed that 500,000 copies is what it sounds like. And they already had some kind of promise from these distributors to buy that many. It was already pre-ordered. So yes, it's a shame to see this, but my best advice is this. Don't buy this game on the Switch. Don't buy this game on the Xbox One and the PS4. I hate to say it, let it sit on shelves for distributors to figure out, because it seems like the people behind this game, Big Ben Interactive, seem to be thinking that same way. After it leaves their place, it's now the distributor's problem, it's now the consumer's problem. So yes, do not buy this game. If you're on the Switch, I don't know why you'd buy this game in the first place. Maybe you want that realistic tennis experience, but honestly, Mario Tennis is coming later on this month, so just wait for that. If they delay it again, which I think in Europe they delayed it to June 19th, it seriously comes out a couple days before Mario Tennis, so just wait for that one. I don't know why you would buy this game if that was the case, especially if Mario's sitting on the shelf next to it. And obviously, much more polished tennis game, much more complete tennis game. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this whole situation down in the comments. Make sure you guys like this video. If you liked it, dislike it. If not, don't buy this game. It seems terrible, and it seems incomplete, and it seems like they were trying to get one over on people. And I'll see you guys in the next video.